As you already know now, breath is a huge part of singing. Without breath, there is no sound. So we obviously need to look at breathing. And first, I want to talk to you about breath control. And that includes a bunch of really important things, okay? Let's first talk about where you can feel the breath. There's 4 major areas where you can feel the breath. First, we have the chest. This is where most people breathe, most non-singers at least, okay? We kind of like breathe up here, and it's a very shallow breath, and you see the chest going up and down, okay? Because society has kind of taught us that we don't want to breathe into the belly because we don't like showing our belly. Yada yada, whatever, right? So the chest is one. Then the belly is another one, like I just said, right? So maybe with a baby, you can really see how their bellies go out and back in and up and down, basically, right? So you can breathe into the belly and the belly comes out and expands and then goes back in and expands and goes back in. Third, we have the ribs right here. When you're breathing, your ribs expand wide a little bit, okay? So that's the third part. And fourth, the lower back, which is very, very small, but if you're leaning against the wall and your lower back is really touching the wall, you feel some expansion happening where your back might just be slightly pushing you off the wall because that expansion down here is happening. So this is like bonus space, basically, to really get a really big breath in for a really, really long phrase that's about to happen. So where do you think I'm going to tell you where you should be feeling your breath? The chest, the belly, the ribs, or the lower back? The answer is your ribs, and here's why. When you're breathing into your ribs and you're expanding wide, your chest automatically gets filled with air as well. So does your belly. Your belly comes out a little bit, and your lower back as well. Your ribs are connecting your entire torso and all four of those areas that you can breathe into to really get the most out of your breath. A lot of people say like breathe into your belly, and that does not work for me at all because then I'm really focusing on pushing my tummy out, and that doesn't feel good, nor does it look good either, right? So breathe into your ribs. So take your hands, put them on your ribs right here. So for you ladies, right underneath your bra line, okay? Make sure it's not your waist, which is down here, okay? On your ribs. You should be feeling those bones underneath your hands, okay? Now apply just a little bit of pressure. Make sure your shoulders are not up here, but they're relaxed, okay? It might feel a little bit weird to have your hands all the way up here and relax your shoulders at the same time, but you'll get there, don't you worry. So keep your hands on your ribs and apply just a little bit of pressure. Obviously, don't hurt yourself, don't push in too hard, but just a little bit, okay? And now take a really good breath into your hands and try to push out your hands as far as you can, like this. See how my hands are now further out than they were before when I didn't have breath, right? Let's try that again. Breathe wide, right? Push your hands out. This expansion can really help you get in as much air as possible. So your ribs is where you're supposed to feel your breath when you are inhaling. Here are 2 exercises that you can practice this inhalation. Yay! Finally some exercises that we can practice every day. Yay! We're gonna practice them every day. So the first one that you can do is still keep your hands right here, okay? Exhale all the air you've got, okay? So everything's got to go out. And then inhale. And exhale on a like snake, okay? Your vocal cords are not vibrating. It's not z, it's just s. So if you put your hand on your throat, s, you're not feeling any vibrations, okay? So take a good breath in, push your hands out, exhale on a s, and time yourself to see how long you can go for, okay? So, and just continue breathing out and see how long you can go for. This exercise is going to help you control your exhalation, okay? So you might have to play around with the tongue a little bit on the inside to see how you can still get that s sound without using more air than you absolutely need to, right? So the louder I make it, the more air I'm using it, obviously, right? So try and really figure out a way to use just this very little, like the littlest amount of air as you possibly can. And if you do that, you can go for a really long time. My record is at just under a minute, okay? So give that a try and see how long you can go for. Try doing it every single day for the first week or two, and then do it weekly after that and see how you're improving. And make sure you keep track of your times, okay? So you can see how fast you're improving. Then the second exercise that you can do is very, very similar, but now we're gonna add our vocal cords to this. And it goes like this. So it's exactly the same thing, but now on a Z instead of a S, instead of just an S, right? So your vocal cords are vibrating. If you are now putting your hand on your throat, zzz, you'll feel the vibrations happening in your throat, okay? So exactly the same thing otherwise, but now just on pitch. I recommend that you choose 2 or 3 different pitches, one in your lower comfortable register, one in the middle, and one in some like higher notes, and see how different they are timing wise. Most likely you will be able to go for longer in the lower notes than in the higher notes, okay? But choose 3 notes and time yourself and see how you're improving over the weeks, okay? So those are 2 exercises that you can practice to help you ground your breath, breathing low, okay, into your ribs and expand your ribs out, and then control your exhalation. Really try to keep your ribs out for as long as possible when you're exhaling and not collapse your ribs, okay? Keep them out for as long as you can. If you are struggling with feeling your breath go lower and you're still just kind of up here, try to inhale through a straw. It's gonna feel so weird, but trust me, give it a try. You'll really feel the air just go down, 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 and trying to find space down here rather than up in your chest, okay? So try to inhale through a straw to feel your breath go low. Make sure you're not using the world's tiniest, you know, like little coffee cup straw because you'll pass out. No, you won't, but it'll, I don't know, for me it creates anxiety because I'm not getting enough air in quickly enough. So use a straw that's, you know, like a normal size to really get that air low, but slowly at the same time. Now, unfortunately, we don't usually have a lot of time to breathe, so we need to learn to take breaths quickly. And those breaths are called catch breaths. And all they are is just a really fast breath, like, and that's it, okay? Now, your breaths should not be audible. I'm trying to make it audible right now so you can hear what I'm doing, right? So, like that. It's a catch breath, it's a short breath. But the less audible your breath is, the more relaxed, the more tension-free your throat is, okay? And I see that a lot with singers where the tension is created already on their inhalation before they even start making sound, okay? So try and make your inhalation as inaudible as possible. But again, catch breaths are really, really short breaths. So I want you to look at the song Million Reasons by Lady Gaga. I already prepared a worksheet for you with the lyrics all there. So all you gotta do is just print it out. And then what I want you to do is listen to the song, listen to her sing it, and mark little breath marks where she is taking a breath. The reason why I'm asking you to look at this specific song is because she is breathing in some really weird places where you wouldn't naturally breathe if you didn't know the song, okay? Because there are some phrases that flowed right into each other and you don't have time to breathe in between. Sometimes you have to breathe in the middle of a phrase. So listen to the song, mark where she's taking breaths, and then compare that to my answer key, okay? The answer key is also below. Please don't look at the answer key before you do it, okay? Please. Thank you. And compare your answers with mine, okay? So that way you can really see, okay, this is where she's breathing. And as you'll be able to hear, you don't have a lot of time to breathe. So you're going to be using a lot of catch breaths. Now, it's really important when you're using a catch breath is relax your core, okay, your abs and all that good stuff. And then you can get in a lot of air really, really quickly if this is relaxed. If this down here, your abs, if this is not relaxed, you will not be able to get breath in quickly and also not a lot of it, okay? A catch breath still needs to be a full breath because otherwise you're just gonna run out again, and that doesn't do you any good either. So make sure you're relaxing your core so you can get a lot of breath in low, right? Like into your ribs and not a shallow breath up here. So this is something that's gonna take you just a little bit of time to learn to release and engage your core quickly. But don't you worry, I'm going to give you exercises where you can practice that in the next lesson because we're going to be talking about breath support there. All right, that is it about breath control. Remember to breathe into your ribs, practice your exercises, the S and the Z on different pitches, okay? Time yourself, see how you're improving over time, and that's it. I will see you in the next lesson.